Hello, yay! So excited you are joining me. If you don't know me, if a friend tagged you in this video, if you're watching the playback, let me just introduce myself. My name is Jacqueline Riccio, and I teach online to kids in China. It is the best part-time job I have ever had. I've been with the company for over 365 days, and I'll let you know, I'm totally honest about this stuff, but I've made over $15,000 doing this. And I'm honest about that because I want people to know the possibilities and to know that you don't have to join an MLM and you don't have to do sales in order to make money while working online, while traveling. So right now I'm coming to you from our hotel room. You can see our little kitchenette. You can see my little pup on the bed over there, and we'll be traveling, and it's really cool that I can take this with me and I can teach while I am on the road. So let's start off with how much money did I make this morning before 10 a.m. And I'm so honest about money because this is why I'm doing this part-time job. Yes, I love the kids. Yes, it like fulfills me and it makes me happy in the morning. But when it comes down to it, I took this job so that I could make extra money, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a great thing, and it's a really awesome possibility for teachers, especially because teachers are in jobs where, you're on a pay scale and your pay is determined by how many years of experience you have, how much money you invest in furthering your education. And if people decide to give you your 2% or whatever percent raise, or if they decide to take it away from you. So it's a really cool opportunity to be able to really make how much money you want to make, how much you're going to dedicate to this job, how many hours you're going to teach from your house or your class, your hotel room, from wherever. It is dependent on how much time you want to devote. I do enjoy sleep. A lot of teachers will work through the night. I wake up and I teach from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. every single morning. This morning I taught 6:30 to 10 a.m. So with that, I will show you my schedule because I think this is really cool to see, but you can see the times that I was booked. So I taught 7 classes this morning. A couple of those classes were booked short notice, so I got an extra $2. So I made just under $80 teaching for less than 4 hours. And now here's the great thing is that, we're traveling, it's 10 a.m. I have the rest of my day to go out and do whatever the heck I want with my day. So I love that about this job is that I'm not stuck in an office. I can get up anytime for the rest of the day and I can go and do my stuff. Love that about this job. So what hours can I teach? This is a big one because people were like, oh, it's like kids in China. Like, how does this work? The hours are so weird. I looked at this, totally understand. So you have to remember that wherever you are in the country, China is 12, 13, 14 hours ahead of us. Yes, yes, yes. My friend Simone is traveling too. She's awesome. You have to remember that China is, half a day ahead of wherever you are. If you're on the East Coast or the West Coast, that stuff changes. So right now, I am in an Eastern time zone. So I think China's about 12 or 13 hours ahead of me. Depends if it's daylight savings time or not. But so I choose to teach from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. There are plenty of teachers that will teach through the night. They will start teaching at like 8 p.m. and teach through 10 a.m. It just kind of depends on how you want to structure your day. During the summer, there are a little bit more hours available because kids in China are on summer break. So you have that possibility. On Friday and Saturday nights, you could do that whole, like during the school year as well, you could do the whole, I'm going to teach through the night, and teachers make bank. Like there are teachers that do this and they make really awesome money doing this. Like I said, this is just a part-time gig for me. I like doing things like little small things that I can do every day because that adds up. So 4 hours for me is kind of what I limit myself to so that I don't get burned out. But a lot of teachers, they push themselves because they have like a vacation goal that they're working towards, or they're trying to pay off debt, or they're trying to, their mortgage or their student loans or whatever it is. So they push themselves, they hustle a little bit. Again, really that really cool opportunity that you don't really get when you work in a public school. You're in control of how much money you make. So that's really cool. How much prep is involved? Like zero. There's like zero prep involved. Maybe the first couple of weeks you kind of have to look over lessons and make sure that you have things available. But I mean, honestly, since last July, last September, I literally like flip through, oh, this is what I'm teaching. I open my computer and I teach. So I get up about 15 to 20 minutes. You know, I comb my hair, put it up, put a nice shirt on. I'm still wearing pajama pants, and I sit down and I start teaching. When I was a classroom teacher, Sunday nights, I was up late finishing lesson plans. I was at school, you know, early in the morning to have things prepped for my classroom. I spent weeks getting my classroom, you know, ready for my students, spent hundreds, probably thousands of dollars of my own money prepping for class, you know, getting texts from parents at night, sending emails at night, going to meetings, like all of this stuff for not a really great paycheck. It basically is wake up, teach, fill in feedback, which might take like 2 to 5 minutes per student. I keep it short. I use a template and I give really good feedback, but I keep it short. And I just remember that, you know, I'm going to give value to this job, but this job is not going to take over my life. So, and I'm doing well. Like anytime I open classes, I get booked. So I'm adding value. I'm not letting the job take over my life. I'm not letting the job burn me out. And I'm getting booked, which is really cool. To have this part-time job and do these things. I think a lot of times teachers especially think they have to give 120% all of the time, but there's a really cool saying or a really cool quote I always think of, and it's a match that burns at both ends will burn out twice as fast as a match that burns on one end. So I like to keep that in mind. I want to stay with this job and I want to give my students value, but I don't want to burn myself out. So as far as prep, I'm not spending hours and hours of my time, because if I do that, that decreases my hourly pay. And so I want it, you know, I want to match, I want to be with this job long term. So I do not spend a ton of time prepping. And again, my students are still getting a quality class from me. Do I need a teaching certificate to teach? You do not. For this company, the company that I work for, you only need a bachelor's degree, whether it's a bachelor's of arts, a bachelor's of science, and it does not need to be in teaching. It can be in anything. You have it in math, you have it in, I don't know, I can't think of anything, business, whatever it is, it will work. In fact, some of the best teachers, this is crazy, but some of the best teachers aren't certified teachers. They're moms that have kids, so they've, you know, they know how kids learn and they have read to their kids and whatever. Or they're people that have done presenting in other jobs and they can take those skills and apply it to here. It is not brain surgery. This is not rocket science. There is a learning curve. You have to teach it the way they want it to be taught. So it takes a little bit of practice, but anyone can learn how to do this. I like to think of it as like after school tutoring, like working on a workbook with someone, but I'm doing it online. So how it works is the kid's face is here, my face is here, and over here to the side is a PowerPoint, which is basically a workbook, and we're working through it together. Some of this stuff is review, some of it I'm teaching, but again, for those lower level kids, we're working on ABCs. For the higher level kids, they might be reading something and I'm asking them questions and we're going over vocabulary and we're going over pronunciation of words, things that you can figure out how to do. And like I said, a lot of the teachers that are super successful with this job do not even have a teaching background. There's another group I was in, and a woman who I believe her background was in marketing, and she did such a great job with this job that they flew her to China to meet her students because she was so successful. So that's a really cool thing, is if you have that teaching background, great. If you don't, you can still do this. And I do have this other who can do this. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, you won't be able to work for the company that I work for, but I do have a friend that mentors teachers that don't have a teaching certificate and do not have a bachelor's degree. They have a little bit of other requirements for that company. But again, you don't need a bachelor's degree for that company. So I can send you my friend's email address. I know I've had a couple people reach out to me and say like, oh, I don't need a degree. So if you do have a degree, you're definitely going to want to apply for the company that I work for. And if you don't, I can give you that information as well. But yeah, I will be here this week letting you know about how this is working out, especially teaching from a hotel room. It's been pretty interesting. I just made sure I went to the front desk to ask is there anyone in the room next door to us? There's no room here. There's only one room there. They said there was no one there, so that was great. Had there been someone in that room, I would have taught in the bathroom, which I've done from before, just so that I'm not bothering anyone and my students can get the best class that they can get possible. But if you have any questions, you can definitely email me. I will put my email address below, and I will put my link so that you can see more information. It has it links to my blog. And then if you do decide to apply, I can mentor you through the process. I've helped over 11 teachers get hired and get started with teaching, a couple of other teachers that have gotten hired and are just waiting to start their first classes. It really helps having someone mentor you through the process, because you're just like, I don't even know. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. And less than 10% of people that apply get hired, so definitely helpful to have someone help you through the process. And then I am always open and clear about this, that I do make a little bit of money for helping people through the process. And that's something that you can do as well, is once you are hired on, if you decide you want to help teachers get hired, you can do that as well. But it's different than an MLM. There's no building a team. Whatever classes you make, I don't get a portion of how much money you make. It's just a referral fee. Like if you had worked in an office, I know the last job I worked at, they gave out like $400, $500 if you referred someone to the company. So yeah, it's just kind of a little bonus, but the bulk of my paycheck comes from teaching. I've taught, I think, about 1,300 classes in the last 365 days. Love this job. All right, guys, I hope you have a good Monday. Bye.